Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Shazam binti Azman.
Hi, my name is Nur Nuhanisha binti Azmi.
Hi, my name is Nurdiana Safia binti Muhammad Rahmat.
Hi, my name is Maria Ulfa binti Slamet.
Hi, my name is Maratu Safia binti Muhammad Omar.
Hi, my name is Nur Azrina Dania binti Muhammad Azri.
Japanese art consists of the painting, calligraphy, architecture, pottery, sculpture, and other fine or decorative visual arts produced in Japan over the centuries. But in our presentation, we will talk about Japanese pottery. Pottery is one of the most famous Japanese art forms. Tourists can admire classic ceramic ware in museums, visit famous pottery towns, participate in pottery-related activities, or enjoy tableware at restaurants. What is pottery? Pottery is made by combining naturally occurring raw materials such as clay, earthen minerals, and water and shaping them into forms. After shaping, the clay body is heated to a high temperature in a kiln to solidify and make it heat resistant. There are a number of pottery techniques used to create a functional and ornamental ceramic objects. Potter use wheel throwing to create symmetrical pottery and slip casting to create multiples of one object. They may also use hand building techniques such as slab rolling, coiling, and pinching. Early Japanese ceramics were either stoneware or earthenware. Earthenware was fired at lower temperature but was typically porous if left unglazed, while stoneware was fired at higher temperature and yield vessels that were non-porous. They did not need to be further glazed to make them waterproof. Japanese ceramics are still widely used in daily life today, and valuable pieces are displayed only on special occasions, much like precious silver. When dining at nice restaurants or ryokan, ceramic dishes are often carefully chosen to reflect the season and mood. Ryokan are Japanese-style inns found throughout the country, especially in hot springs resort. Placed in place of food decoration, embellished ceramic dishes enhance the dish visual appeal. In the tea ceremony, the ceramic tea bowl or chawan is a central tool. All the different pottery regions in Japan produce their versions of the tea bowl. The bowls are typically handmade, range in shape, size, and color, and no two bowls should be the same. Examining your tea bowl after you have finished drinking the tea to admire its shape and style is regarded as polite behavior.
The history of Japanese ceramic is long and has been influenced by ancient Japanese pottery as well as items from other countries such as Korea and China. It is also complicated with the many types of Japanese ceramic existing, which can be roughly divided into toki as a pottery and jiki as a porcelain. Japanese ceramic detailing the history of toki and jiki. Japan has a long and rich history of traditional arts and crafts, characterized by presence, minimals, and a deep respect for materials and their natural features. The history includes the famous tradition of Japanese pottery, ceramic, and porcelain craft. Its distinct aesthetic and extraordinary process as one of Japan's oldest art, pottery, ceramic, and porcelain date back to the Jomon period around 1400 before Christ to 1300 before Christ, named after the church sign, which decorate the surface of their clay vessels. The art of Japanese pottery known as yakimono, and it is a rich tapestry of history, culture, and technical mastery. It stands as a testament to Japan's long-established tradition of meticulous craftsmanship and deep respect for nature and its ancient Jomon period, which dates to 1415 1000 before Christ to contemporary Roku and Celadon style. Japanese poetry is a fascinating journey through time, reflecting the evolution of Japanese aesthetic and philosophy. Japanese poetry embodies a unique Japanese worldview where a beauty is found in simplicity and imperfection. Each piece of poetry tells a story about the artist's skill and the cultural context of the era. Understanding the nuance of Japanese poetry can open a new perspective on its value and appeal. The story of German poetry, the earliest example of it dates back to about 15 to 1600 years ago, is strange and fascinating because its characters formed their first clavieses before their people discovered the important technology of agriculture, production, and basic metallurgy. Its origins can be traced back to the same period in which Shinto, Japan's indigenous religion, was born. For Japan, the history of ceramic is the history of its belief system, its cultural values, its wars and dynasties. To a greater or lesser extent, it is the history of its people. However, at the beginning of the 20th century, it seemed that traditional Japanese ceramic production was becoming obsolete, resulting in extreme isolation that had a great impact on the country's ceramic industry. Such with a ceramic from invasion campaign in the Korea and European traders peddling their poetry. Japanese potters were essentially left alone to their intense self-obsession. Heavily influenced by important poetry, native makers constantly evaluated and re-evaluated the design, glaze and fire qualities in response to this new style. Next, Yayoi period started from 300 before current era to 300 current era. Yayoi poetry is simpler and more functional than Jamon, often used for daily activities like cooking and storage. Besides that, Kung Fu period started from 300 before current era to 1308 current era. Is Haniwa figures, clay figures, and object places in a grave mound, reflecting a belief in the afterlife and the importance of funerary practice. Furthermore, Heian period, although a three-color slate glaze technique was introduced to Japan from the Tang dynasty of China in the 8th century, official queens produced only simply green lit glaze of a temple in the Heian period. Next, Kamakura period started from 17th century. Unglazed stoneware was popular for the heavy daily needs of a moist agrarian society, such as various jars, storage jars, and various kitchen pots represent the bulk of the production. Next, Muromachi period. Janwa was later produced and further developed as tenmoku and was highly prized during the tea ceremony of this time. Tenmoku is a type of glaze that originated in imitating Chinese Jian, ware of the Southern Song Disney, which are also called Tenmoku in Japan. Next, Azuchi Momoyama. From the middle of the 11th century to the 16th century, Japan imported much Chinese Celadon green ware, white porcelain, and blue and white ware. Japan also imported Chinese pottery as well as Korean and Vietnamese ceramic. Next is Sengoku period. Sengoku period, with the rise of Buddhism in the late 16th century, Ding tea master introduced stylistic changes and favored simple Korean tea bowls and domestic utensils over sophisticated Chinese porcelain. Next is Edo period. Edo period is a Chinese pottery refuge were able to introduce fine porcelain and enamel glass technique to Arita kilns. Next is Meiji period. Meiji period is during this era, technical and artistic innovation turned porcelain into one of the most internally successful Japanese decorative art forms. Next is Taisho period. Taisho period is Japanese pottery strongly influenced by British studio potter and Bernard Leach, who is regarded as the father of British studio pottery. He lived in Japan from 1909 to 1920 during the Taisho period and become the leading Western interpreter of Japanese pottery and in turn influenced a number of artists abroad. Next is Showa period. During the early Showa period, the folk art movement Mingei developed, starting in the late 1920s and 1930s. The concept of Mingei variously translated into English as a folk craft, folk art, or popular art, was developed from the mid-1920s in Japan by a philosopher and aesthetic. Next is Heisei period to present. Heisei period to present is the kiln at Tamba, which overlooks Kobe, continued to produce everyday items used in Tokugawa period. While adding modern forms, most village wares are made anonymously by local potters for utilitarian purposes. Local styles, whether indigenous or imported, tend to continue unchanged into the present. The background of Japanese pottery is they using clay that has various special properties. Important properties of usable clay include the ability to be molded without cracking or breaking and its ability to be fired at a certain temperature. Some types of clay are hardened by fire, namely pottery, stoneware, and porcelain. Unfired pottery is more porous and coarser than stoneware and porcelain, whereas stoneware is fired at high temperature about 1200 degrees Celsius until it vibrates and is glassy and impermeable to liquids and porcelain. Porcelain is a rectified pottery with a white, fine-grained body that is usually translucent, as distinguished from earthenware, which is porous, opaque, and rugged. The art of pottery is also influenced by the tea ceremony, which in Japan's calling is as a chenayu, because it is an aesthetic way to welcoming guests, where everything is done according to the order of the quality of the utensil and how they fit in the hands of Shogun Yoshimasa in Kyoto. It's developed into a common ritual pattern at the same time that the ceremony was first exploited as a means of settling dispute, which is not to touch the same accident effect, has been encouraged and in street and is used irregularly. It is usually thick with a lot of foam and with a semi-liquid appearance. The painted decoration, often blue, brown, or iron red, are often abstract and almost calligraphic in their simplicity.
Okay, I will talk about elements of Japanese pottery. In the tradition of handmade wares, there are different prefectures in Japan's produce based on the style of pottery that you can identify by the glass, form, and material used to make them. There are 7 elements of Japan's pottery. The first one is Arita wares. It gains widespread popularity fairly recently. However, artisans in Arita have created ornately detailed porcelain ware since the 16th. Inspired by Chinese porcelains, Arita ware artisans adore their porcelain ware with colored enamel in luxury patterns. The second one is Seto wares. Artisans from Seto are known for their beautiful glass wares. The clay that comes from Seto is a perfect canvas for vibrant glass because it turns a bright white during the firing process. Look for bowls, plates, vase, and even porcelain dolls produced in situ. The third one is Mino wares. Since the 7th century, artisans in Mino have produced a wide range of pottery, from tea bowls to dinnerware to decorative and ritual objects. The sculpting, firing, and glazing process range from roughly hews and fired in a large open kilns to intricately sculpted and fired in a massive stair-step kilns. Pottery is so central to Mino culture that the region hosts a month-long international ceramic festival each year. Okay, number 4 is tokonami wares. In tokonami, artisans have created water jug, teapots, and storage vessels in tunnel kilns for around 900 years. This form of Japan's pottery is traditionally less intricate. Some modern tokonami artisans imbue the form with a contemporary style, while others commit to traditional practice and values. For a reliable, sturdy, and minimal teapot. Number 5 is shigaraki wares. Shigaraki's ecological environment has shaped the region's relationship with the pottery for centuries. There are 3 elements of making shigaraki a natural center for Japan's pottery. The first one is the abundant supply of ancient lake sediments, which form supply clay. The second one is the surrounding mountains, ideal for building cairns. The last one is the hearty forest, a regenerative fuel source. Number 6 is bison ware. In from the Okayama prefecture that produce incredible durable Japanese ceramics and pottery by way of a slow firing method. The method, which used dry straw as fuel, also leaves a delicate, subtle mark on the surface of the pottery. Look for natural organic scraping that distribute the perfect surface of the wares. This exemplify wabi-sabi, the Japanese philosophy that flaw imperfections less every object, person, creature, or place its unique beauty. The last one is Kutani wares. Since 1979, the village of Kutani has been recognized as a cultural and historic landmark in honor of the porcelain kilns in Hos. In the 17th century, Kutani porcelain was known for its blue, green, and yellow glaze. Some even suspect this Japanese pottery inspired Van Gogh's masterpiece. In more recent century, artisans have turned toward more detailed decoration created with red and gold glaze.
Next is characteristic of Japanese pottery. There are the difference of pottery that each use different types of clay and combination of clay with variation of silica and mineral, such as earthenware, stoneware, and porcelain. For earthenware, it makes the pottery more porous and closer to the touch. Next is stoneware. It is a vitreous or semi-vitreous ceramic, meaning it is coated in enamel to make it appear glassy and to make it non-porous. And last is porcelain, generally made with kaolin clay and fired in kiln to temperatures between 2200 and 2600 degrees. Characteristic of Japanese pottery by a wide range of styles, techniques, and cultural significance, such as aesthetic principles, functional design, cultural significance, materials and glazes, and innovative technique. For aesthetic principles, employ a It's employ a variety of aesthetic principles to imbue their creations with beauty, meaning, and function, such as they use wabi-sabi concept, shibui concept, and Eugene concept. For wabi-sabi concept, they use appreciation for the beauty of imperfection, impermanence, and simplicity. For Shibui concept, they subtle elegance and understated beauty. For Yugen, the mysterious and profound beauty, and often evoking a sense of depth. For function design, they usually use designing with a focus on the user needs and ensuring the product can effectively complete its intended tasks. For example, they creating the pottery for tea ceremony, dining, and daily use. Next is culture significance. It's deeply intertwined with Japanese culture, particularly the tea ceremony, or known as chonayu, which is emphasized the appreciation of handcrafted tea bowls, or known as chawan, and other utensils. Next is materials and glazes. It's experimentation with different firing technique to achieve unique texture and color. Basically, they use pottery wheels, clay, and glazes. They usually using pottery wheels shape the clay until the pottery created. It can be powered either by electricity or manually. For clay, it's basically a raw materials which is have a different variation of silica. For glazes, it strengthens the surface of the clay for make sure the pottery waterproof. And last is cleans, which is fire the pottery to high temperature to solidity the clay body in a biscuit fire and fuse the glaze to the clay in a glaze firing. And last one is innovative techniques, which is innovative approaches such as distinctive firing techniques such raku and shino. For raku, the glasses piece in place and a preheat, clean and fire to around 750 to 1000 degrees Celsius. The appearance become hand-shaped look with a rough texture. For shino, high fire in a wood fire clean, typically reaching temperatures around 1200 to 1300 degrees Celsius. The appearance become the thick white milky appearance with a glossy and matte finish.
Now I'm going to talk about the potential of Japanese pottery to be commercialized. There is a plenty of potential Japanese pottery can be commercialized as a country cultures. These are few of the potential that I'm going to explain briefly today. So the first potential is open pottery class or workshop. Open a pottery class or workshop could be a way to promote as a country culture. For those who don't know that Japan has a lot of pottery towns such as Kyoto, Mashiko, Shigaraki, and Kagoshima. Tourists and travelers can travel to this town and gain information about pottery and ceramics. They also have a chance to learn to make pottery. This way, tourists are able to learn how to make pottery and at the same time getting to know about the history, technique, and cultural significance. Japanese pottery has its own uniqueness which can grab a lot of people's attentions and at the same time receive a pretty huge demand on the product. Each Japanese pottery also was made with different types of clay, techniques, and functions. Next is set up a target market. Japanese artisans can set up the target market once they put the product in the market. either online platforms or at any marketplace. For example, they can focus more on those who like to keep pottery or ceramics as a collections. Usually, it can be found among elders and married women. This way, pottery still can have the potential to gain the attentions and the demand. On the other hand, the country itself will have the economic gain, which are also beneficial to the country itself. Nowadays, pottery can be found among youngsters as they see it as a beauty of art. Some of them also use it as decorations and anything else as Japanese pottery can be both decorations and functions. Lastly is use the social media platform to promote products. In this globally era, a lot of people use social media to fulfill their times and there is a lot of benefits from social media. People nowadays use social media to gain a higher income and to purchase something that they want. These platforms allows people to discover lots of information on something, which includes about pottery. Social media users can access to purchase any pottery products through the platform itself. Any other way is artisan can post about their works on their page, which can grab a lot of people's attention. Once people start to get interested in pottery and ceramic, they tend to have the intentions to learn on how to make it. All in all, though social media platforms are suitable to use to promote the pottery products to gain more demands and at the same time can have an economic gain.
In conclusion, Japanese pottery is a profound and dynamic art form that embodies the country's rich cultural heritage and aesthetic values. Every era and region in Japan has contributed a different style or set of techniques to this craft, ranging from the elaborate designs of the ancient Jomon period to the sophisticated simplicity of modern ceramics. Japanese ceramics are still popular today because they combine age-old techniques with cutting-edge advancements. Renowned potters and local pottery hubs continue to be committed to maintaining and developing this timeless art. In addition to learning about Japan's artistic history, studying and appreciating Japanese ceramics help us understand a larger human experience that honors skill, tradition, and the beauty of the handmade. If we are interested in learning more about Japanese pottery and have the opportunity to visit Japan, we can gain first-hand knowledge of the various styles and techniques that make up this ancient art form by traveling to local pottery centers such as Mashiko, Shigaraki, and Tamba. Many of these areas also host pottery festivals, museums, and workshops to preserving and celebrating the legacy of Japanese ceramics.